and welcome back to another LEGO Star Wars review. This time I'm here with set 75302 Imperial Shuttle. This set was released on the 1st of March 2021 and has 660 pieces, is rated ages 9+ and comes with 3 minifigs. As you'll see there on the bottom right corner, we have Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker and an Imperial Officer. This set retails at €79.99 in euros, €69.99 in pounds and $69.99 in dollars, which is a kind of strange comparison there, but that is true. The Lambda class shuttle is quite a popular ship among Star Wars fans, and rightly so. It is the only ship qualified to transport the most terrifying villain of the Skywalker saga, Emperor Palpatine, and otherwise was a crucial part of the Rebels' destruction of Death Star 2. The shuttle will carry 20 passengers and 2 pilots, often occupied by high-ranking Imperial officers, including Darth Vader himself. Despite the elegance of the ship's exterior, however, the insides usually reeked of stale sweat due to transporting countless stormtroopers back and forth. Board troops would often etch their operating numbers into the surfaces of the interior. As you know, the Emperor favoured transport on this shuttle. His personal shuttle was marked by a grey stripe on its nose. This is the 5th Imperial Shuttle LEGO have released, and probably the most controversial, with mixed reviews everywhere and fear of Luke's lightsaber being the wrong colour. I mean, it even takes off Darth Vader's arm printing, which just isn't ideal for anybody. I mean, sure, to drive down the price slightly, but it can't really affect it that much. It is full of controversy. I mean, this whole wave has been full of controversy, really. Now, to give you a look at the back of the box there, you will see on the top right corner, it shows a little action box that proves that the wings can fold up. Underneath that then, you will see the cockpit opens up and fits 1 pilot inside. On the top left, you will see it has stud shooters just under the cockpit. Beside that then, towards the left, you will see the Play It in LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga box, which we see on pretty much everything that's been released since August of 2020. Underneath that then, you will see the top foil opens up and fits 2 people, what looks like 2 people inside there. So that it's a little bit cramped, but at the same time it does fit everybody in the set into it, whereas it probably should fit a little more. So here we see everything that comes with the set. Of course, you get your 3 minifigs. Darth Vader, he comes with his lightsaber. Luke Skywalker comes with his, and he comes with a set of handcuffs. You've got your Imperial Officer there, who comes with his blaster pistol. Either side of the minifigures, you will see a stud each, and those are the spare studs for the stud shooters, either side of the landing craft. And of course, behind all of them, you will see the landing craft itself. So let's get on to the minifigs. So first up here we see Darth Vader. Not a crazy amount of difference in the detail. They've just kind of finely tuned some of the details on him there. Not by an awful lot, but a tiny bit. They have, however, taken off the arm printing that he had at the end of last year, which is a real crying shame. But anyway, onto the torso print there, you will see that his kind of collar piece is printed rather well, rather accurately, with the silver on black kind of lines on the top there. Underneath that, you will see the kind of button panel that he has on his chest to kind of regulate all of his helmet breathing and stuff like that, if ever needs be. Underneath that, you will see the belt is printed there as well, rather nicely. There's got some nice colours in there and some nice kind of silver in there as well. On just above that then, you will see some little kind of lines there to give the impression of fabric, and underneath the same thing you will see some lines there to give the impression of fabric. Now it's a very nice figure, definitely, but by no means is it that impressive compared to what we had at the end of last year. Of course, on his back you will see his kind of cape there as well. It's not exactly the really soft cape, it is more of a kind of stiff plasticky kind of cape. On the back there, you will also see he has the same silver and black lines to represent his kind of, top of the torso piece. I'm not sure what to call it. And then also you will see some silver lines there to represent cloth or fabric, because of his fabric clothes there as well. Definitely nice to see them printing the whole way around the figure there. The cape is a bit of a problem because it's too hard, and it doesn't really sit properly. Then underneath the helmet, it is a two-part helmet like we have seen in the past. Underneath the helmet you will see a typical Darth Vader kind of face. You'll see the smile that he has and the kind of withered face he has as well. On the back you won't see another print, but you will see the print of the back of his skull, or the back of his head there, which is kind of deformed from, of course, his fight with Obi-Wan Kenobi. The helmet is nice. Of course, you put the piece on under his head first, and then you put on the top of his helmet over the head, so that is kind of just the way it's always been. Then he comes with his lightsaber as well, and you will see that it just pops into his hand, normally like it would anything else, or like any other figure would hold it. Yeah, nice figure, but again, it still is a little bit, I think, of a downgrade compared to what we have got, and to be honest, compared to what we should have got. Next up then, you'll see Luke in his Return of the Jedi clothes. He comes with his lightsaber and his shackles there. I don't think this is a mad different print either. I think this is quite similar to the ones we've gotten, if not the exact same. You will see there that his belt is printed a little bit in silver. The lines on him are actually done in a kind of grey or silver as well there, and there's not an awful lot of detail on the torso there at all. But it does show his robe quite well. It shows his outfit quite well, quite accurately. On the back then you will see some more printing just for the kind of impression of fabric. And again, there's not an awful lot you can really do with that minifigure. You will see that his hand is black there to represent the glove he's wearing over his robot hand. We all know what happened there. We all know the story behind that. His hairpiece is a step back by a large amount, because this is a very classic hairpiece there that he has, not upgraded at all really. I don't even think the colour is all that different from what it used to be back in like the 1990s or 2000s. On the first face there you will see him kind of like stern, or just kind of standard enough, like nothing really happening with that face there. You will see his eyebrows as well are blonde. That's kind of the main thing that makes Luke Skywalker faces his. On the back then you will see a little bit of a cheeky smile, and then that's pretty much the two faces he has there. It's nice to see that you have some variety in there. As I said, he comes with his lightsaber, which again he holds normally as anyone would, or as any thing would fit in his hands there. And the shackles go just over the arms there. They are notably a little kind of rubbery, or just very not very strong at all. So if you're taking them off, just do be careful with it, because I've had a set of these before, and the connection from the handcuff to the chain actually got very weak looking and turned white because it was so like bent and weak, and nearly broke off there. So I would just be wary about taking that off. Just literally click it off by the corners here, and you should be fine. Again, not an awful lot of detail in this figure, nothing mad to say about it, but of course it's a nice addition to the set. But yeah. Next up we have the Imperial Officer. Now I think this is the first time we've seen the Imperial Officer in this style before. But again, kind of like Luke, there's not an awful lot I can say about him. His torso there is printed with grey lines there, just to kind of give the impression of like fabric or clothes that he's wearing, or the suit or the uniform that he's wearing. You will see a silver belt buckle there, which is nice to see as well. Going down onto the belt piece, you will see that is also printed, and his legs are also printed as well there. So it's definitely nice to see that they've gone to the length and actually printed the full thing. On the back then you will see some more little lines and stuff, again just to kind of give the impression of clothes, but again nothing really too crazy there, just definitely nice to see. On the face you will see one face print, and that is just him looking just not happy. I don't think any of the Imperial officers would be happy about anything ever, because they're just kind of generally grumpy people, and that is kind of represented well there. Just take off the hat there so we can see it properly. Also then you will see that he is wearing a kind of little headset there as well, and you will see some small details there to the face as well, small lines and stuff in the face there to make it look a bit more chiseled or whatever. The hat then I think is a new piece. It definitely is nice. It's a little shiny there, as you will see, kind of glittery almost, just very very slightly, which is interesting. You know, it's kind of strange to see that done there. I'm not sure why they would have done that. Also, then you will see a tiny little Imperial logo up there on the top. Definitely a nice little minifigure. Of course, he comes with his blaster as well, so I think I'll just give you a little kind of demonstration. That works fine. He has no kind of weight issues there or balance issues there. But yeah, definitely a nice little minifigure to have with the set. Of course, we obviously need a pilot for the shuttle, but you know, two kind of would have been more accurate and better. But you know, it is what it is, and we did get him, and he's a nice little figure all the same. So here we have the Imperial Shuttle for 2021. Now, it's been getting an awful lot of mixed reports, or mixed reviews, and it's been getting kind of an awful lot of hate as well. Also, there was like just controversy the whole way around it, because they thought like Luke's lightsaber was going to be the wrong colour, and we thought like just it didn't really have anything going for it up until it was released. And to be honest, there is still one major problem with it, and that is the chin. Underneath there, it's really hard to get past, and it's really hard not to notice. Like, you can't really display this from up high or anything like that. If you wanted to kind of open up the wings there and display it from up high, it's just something that you would notice. You know, it's something that really would scream out at you. So that is just a big problem. But saying that, from the top and from maybe kind of some of these side angles, like some of the front maybe angles, it doesn't actually look that bad. It did get an awful lot of hate, but again, like, while I was building it, I didn't really think I was going to be that impressed with it at all, but I kind of was. You know, I kind of was. It does look quite accurate in some areas, like up around here it looks alright, and like the wings kind of move okay. These bits are kind of accurate enough as well. And I will say another function I think that brought it up is the fact that I tried to fit Darth Vader on the inside. I'll give you a look at the functions in a second, but I thought that you couldn't really put Darth Vader on the inside because its cape would get all bent, because he'd have to sit down and that would be a problem. But you can fit figures inside standing up, which is a good thing. But anyway, getting on to some of the details, there is nice detail in the top of it. I mean, it does kind of look accurate, as I said. It does have all of its guns there that it should have. The wings open up. You cannot stand it on the wings like you can with some old X-Wings and stuff. That will not work. Either it's too heavy, or the balance is completely off and it will come forward like that. So that's something you don't want to do. That's as close as you get to like displaying it standing up. It comes, of course, with its two little studs, the spare studs for the stud shooters, which I'll give you a look at in a second. But like, to be honest, from the top, as I said, design wise, it's all right. While you're building the whole thing, though, it does, like, the price reduction does kind of glare at you. It is noticeable that it is a price reduced set, but like, again, from the underneath, you'll just get no kind of joy out of that at all. I mean, this and these two are its landing gear. In fairness, that's really bad. Like, these, like that, I can't stress enough how much I was not happy with that. From the back, however, you will see that it's not awful either. Like, I mean, this is the thing. You're going to have to look for the set being not awful as opposed to good around most of these corners. So this is not awful. I like the fact that the trans blue pieces are here. I'm a sucker for trans blue pieces, especially when they're like the bright kind of blue. I really do like that a lot. But again, like the accuracy, like under here, awful. I really don't like that. That's just not good. And then on top, they could have tiled that off a little bit more. But this wing is actually quite nice. I don't like, however, these bits inside the middle of it. So that is a little bit of a problem. But like, it's kind of tearing me down the middle for my opinion of it. I don't think the cockpit piece is nice at all. Like, this part here is nice at all. It didn't take an awful lot to build. Like, it took about 5 or 6 steps to build, and I think that alone just kind of shows like that it's not really that great, you know. There's no printed tile inside the cockpit, so that is a problem for me as well. But yeah, I think I've kind of mentioned everything I can about the design of it. Let's get on to the functions. So the first function and the most obvious function would be the fact that the wings open. I've already done that, but just for the sake of this part of the video, I will do it again. And you can see there that they open up quite well. They open up like accurately enough looking, to be quite honest. And from the back there, I'll show you as well. It does look all right. If you got it maybe standing up there and you got to display it low, that would be good. But of course you can't, as I said, display it on those while they're open. Another function then would be the stud shooters either side here. You will see they fire off these little green studs, and the other side here has one as well, so they fire off there, and they have good little range, good bit of range because of the tension that is used on it. But what can I say, and they do give you a spare ammo for that as well, which is a good thing. Then the next function I will show you is the fact that you can open up the top foil there, and that kind of shows you a little bit of the interior, which you can fit two people in. Now this is where I kind of was a little bit surprised. So you can fit them in sitting down. Just for now I'll put him in there like that. And one massive problem I had is you can't fit Darth Vader sitting down, because obviously enough his cape is a little longer than it should be, and it'll just kind of like bend and just kind of warp, and just it won't go in the right shape. Like you can put him in there without kind of like pushing him down on the studs, and he might be okay. But even then, like you can see that the cape kind of warped there a small bit there. But like again, it's just a little bit of a problem. But then I decided, like, look, I'm gonna see if I can stand him up, just being a little bit silly about the whole thing. And to be honest, he does stand up in there, and that closes up fully, and he's not like pushed on or anything like that. So that is good. But again, the cape is kind of bent just at the sides here, so that might not be ideal either. It just means you might be able to fit more than two characters in without the cape. So that is one of the other functions that it has. Also, I will mention that this is like, you can pick it up with the middle foil there, and it just like, it's quite sturdy. So that is good, because that's just a typical kind of way you'd think to kind of lift it, which is, you know, it's secure, so that's definitely a good thing. Then you can open up the cockpit, and I already told you my main problem with that, apart from the bottom of it, is the fact that there's no kind of inside there at all. You will see there that there's just not really that much detail in there at all, or anything really in there at all. I'll show you a little bit closer in there as well, just so you can see. But like, it's just a big problem for me, to be quite honest. You will see there that the pilot sits in not on studs or anything, but his legs go either side of this little brick there. It's kind of like the Lego Friends bricks that they've introduced. And if you do put it down with him 90° up, it'll push him down, which is a problem. If you do, however, move him maybe like 45 down that way, he will actually sit there fine, no problem. But if you do just kind of push his legs down and push him back as far as he'll go, he does actually not look that bad in there as much as you'd think. Of course, from some angles it does look worse than others. But yeah, that's like another problem, I suppose, is that he doesn't really sit in there properly, you know, like he should. And he doesn't fit, even if you did want to, it doesn't fit two pilots, which it definitely should. Yeah, that's pretty much all the functions, you know, that's pretty much it. Like, there's not really anything else I can show you. It's smaller again than I thought it would be, so that is something to mention as well. But yeah, there is one printed element in the entire set, and there is no stickers. That printed element would just be under here, there, that bit there. It's nice to see, definitely is. It does make it look quite nice and make it look a little bit more accurate, so that is good. You will also notice there's three lights. There's lights up here either side there. We've got some guns there and here, which is nice to see. Just little details like that. I'm fairly sure they could be guns as well. The build was quite easy. There wasn't anything too, like, you know, stressful in it or anything that took too much skill or anything like that, or determination or even concentration. It was actually quite easy. There was some interesting techniques, mainly just in the kind of part here. I just thought, like, if you just got like a couple of big bricks and put them all together, but no, there was a different kind of technique to making all of that, which involved these kind of bricks here. I'm not sure, they're not really bricks, They're the kind of rounded off kind of Technic pieces there that just hold the Technic rods. It didn't take long to build either, like it was a quick build as well as being an easy build. So to wrap things up, it does definitely have its flaws, but I don't think it's as flawed as people thought it was going to be. From some angles it does just look hideous, from others it kind of looks okay. Even from up here you can still kind of see that kind of chin piece sticking out, so that is definitely one of the biggest problems, and also maybe the kind of quality of how this was made. The actual cockpit piece itself is kind of two of the main biggest problems. Otherwise the other problems are kind of small, and you know, it is a decent enough set for the price of it. And also in relation to like kids play set, it is definitely nice for that, like for just for the sake of it. It's more affordable than some of the sets that have come out, so that is definitely a nice change of pace from what has been in the past. But to be honest, like for the sense of a collector or a displayer of Lego sets, I wouldn't get this at all. The only thing for like a displayer or like a collector would be like the Imperial Officer there, and even then that's nothing really to write home about, because we've had the rest of the figures before. We will have that Darth Vader again in a different set. That's not an assumption, that's a fact. Like, you know, if you don't have an Imperial Shuttle, I kind of would wait. If it's not really that important to you, I would wait for a better one, or even just wait for like to save up money for the UCS one, or the 2000 and I think was it 15? I think it was either 2015 or 2012 one was released that was a bit better than this again. And that is another kind of disappointing thing, that it's gotten worse than it was. Like with the MTT, it was a massive downgrade. I don't think Lego should really be considering going that direction. Counter argument to that though, if they do something worse than it was the last time, they can go back and do it better the next time and get more hype for it. So that is kind of, you know, yin and yang kind of look on things. As a playset, it has like a couple of functions that are definitely good. As a display set, it has too many problems that are bad. So for display, I would say this is a bad set, and for a kids play set, I would say it's a good set. Thanks a million for watching my video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below if you think there's anything that needs to be said. Thanks a million, guys. See you again. Take care.